on my Windows workstation here, I've created a small multi-tenant database with a couple of containers. Check out the listener first, lsnrctl status. There is a service called CDBA being offered by instance CDBA. That's my container database. CDBA is the database, it is the instance. There's also a service JW2 being offered by that same instance, and a service JW3 being offered by that same instance. I've created TNS names aliases to connect to the services. For example, TNS ping CDBA. That takes me through to the listener on my local host, asking for service CDBA, whereas if I ask for JW3, same listener, but requesting a different service. So, SQL plus sys/oracle at CDBA as sysdba. Show parameter name. And I'm logged on to a database called CDBA, instance called CDBA. Note the service names parameter is null. The service names parameter behaves a bit differently in a multi-tenant environment from in a non-CDB environment. And the final check, the global name of this database is indeed CDBA. Now try going through one of the other aliases. Connect sys/oracle at JW3 as sysdba. I'm connected to the same database, connected to the same instance. But what's the global name of this database? JW3. That's the first hint I've got that I'm actually in a pluggable container which is part of this container database. Now, what are these containers in the container database? Every CDB has a root container. The root container is the control structure. Every CDB will also have a seed container. The seed container is very simple. You can do nothing with it. It's like an empty template. It's a source for creating new pluggable databases. The pluggable databases or pluggable containers, those are what matter. These are the databases that we present to users. And you can create from 1 to 252 of these per container database. Or if you don't want to create them, you can convert them from any non-CDB, any ordinary databases that you may have already. So to see the containers I have in my database here, I'm going to begin by connecting to the service CDBA. The reason for making that connection will become clear shortly. There is a very useful view, $v containers. I shall select CONID, which is an abbreviation of container ID, name, and open mode from $v containers. And we see that my container database contains 4 containers. There's the root container, the control structure from which you manage the environment. That's always container number 1, and it's named CDB$root. There's the seed container, container number 2, PDB$seed. That is only ever open read only. You can do nothing with it. It's just a template used for creating new pluggable containers. Then I have 2 pluggable containers. Container number 3 is named JW3, that's open read write. Container number 4 is named JW2, and that's in mount mode. I just did that as a simple demonstration that different pluggable containers can be in different open modes within the whole CDB. So I've got 4 containers, uniquely identified by CONID and by name. CONID is a join column to every other $v view in a multi-tenant environment. So let us continue our investigation by looking at the physical structures. Select star from $v tablespace. Order by CONID. Container number 1 apparently consists of 5 table spaces. Users, undo TBS, system, sysorgs, temp. That's the CDB$root, the root container. Container number 2, the seed container, 3 table spaces. System, sysorgs, temp. Note system is no longer any sort of unique name in this environment. To get a unique identifier in a multi-tenant environment, you need to look at table space name and container ID. The TS hash is not a unique identifier either. Container number 3 is more interesting. Container number 3 is my pluggable container JW3. It has table spaces, users, temp, sysorgs, myTS, and system. It's got its own data dictionary defining its own objects. And here I've got just 2 table spaces for user data, which are users and myTS. Note, a pluggable container could have dozens or hundreds of table spaces. It could be terabytes big. This is just a small demonstration environment. Container number 4, JW2, has just 4 table spaces. Its own data dictionary, its own sysorgs, its own temp, and just 1 table space for users. Now, I'm seeing this because I connected to CDBA, the root container. If I want to find out which container I'm in, there are any number of ways. Within SQL+, the easiest is show con name. Now I'll log on to my pluggable container through service JW3. And again, select star from $v table space, order by con ID. I see only the table spaces that are part of container number 3, plus the undo table space, which is part of the root container. So I see my local objects plus shared access to undo. Undo is a central resource. I can see it from container JW3. If I try to do something to it, alter table space, undo TBS, say undo TBS1, add data file. If I try to do something to it, I can't. The administration of the shared objects can be done only from the root container. If I go to the root, then that command goes through no problem. And as you become more familiar with the multi-tenant environment, it will become second nature as you understand what you can do in a pluggable container and what can be done only when connected to the root. And that also illustrates a very important point. Even when connected as SysDBA, the scope of my session is limited to the container to which I am attached. Which brings us on to the need for a bit more information about sessions in a multi-tenant environment. Is your session connected to a standalone database, a non-CDB, or is your session logged on to a PDB within a CDB? Users have absolutely no way of knowing this. When you convert a database from non-CDB to PDB, your users will not know that anything has changed at all. Developers, they don't know either, unless they're doing things that give them some database administration capabilities perhaps. As a general rule, neither your users nor your programmers will have any idea that their old-fashioned non-CDB has been migrated into a PDB. Even at the database administration level, for many operations, the DBA will not need to worry at all about whether he is connected to a non-CDB or PDB. Most administration functions, space management, security, creating users, compiling SQL, all of these operations do not change at all in a PDB. There are, however, some operations, I demonstrated managing the undo table space, that can be done only in the root. But as a general rule, the conversion from non-CDB to PDB is completely transparent to users, developers, and to a large extent to the DBA as well. And that is vital. If conversion to multi-tenant is coming, and it is, it's vitally important that no one other than us, the senior DBAs, are aware that anything has changed.